This is Worldwide Flava Network. Coast to coast and worldwide.
The views, information, or opinions expressed on the broadcast of Worldwide Flava Network are solely those of the individuals involved and does not represent those of Worldwide Flava Network and Live365.com. Worldwide Flava Network is not responsible and does not verify for accuracy of the information contained on any live or recorded broadcast available for listening on the site.
Hey, you guys, this is Anika from Anika Tells All.
Tune in every Thursday from 10 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Worldwide Flava Network. See you then.
Hi, this is Tony Reed, your fitness trainer, health coach, and life changer. Now hit the Worldwide Flava Network every Wednesday night from 7:30 to 8:30. Join us for a life-changing moment.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Shell, also known as Color Beauty. Join me on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. on WWFN Online Radio. When 2 minutes is not enough, we go into overtime. See you then.
Tune in with Diva Talk, Real Talk with Diva May every Sunday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on Worldwide Flava Network. Please share. See you next Sunday.
This show is being sponsored by Worldwide Flava Network. If you are looking to have your own radio show, come and join us here on WWFN Online Radio. Contact us via our website, www.worldwideflavanetwork.com. It's your girl, A. Michelle. Join us on Sundays from 10 until 12 noon for the Baltimore Flava Gospel Show on Worldwide Flava Network.
It's time to wake up now. The sun's shining bright. The dark times in my life, I can see the light. When I'm feeling weak, His strength makes me strong. Whatever makes me happy makes me feel complete. Feeling so much better. It's time to come together. When I hear the sound, first thing early in the morning. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Wake me up this morning. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Help me start my day. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. New heights I'm gaining. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Always make a way. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Praise God the greatest. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Calvary praise. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Each and every day. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Yeah. It's your real Miss Lady. Every day I have to thank the Lord for everything that you've done for me. Made a way out of no way. That's how I know He's there for me. From sun up to sun down, I know He'll always be around. Watching over me, giving me a clear view so I can see. That is why I can say thank you, Lord, each and every day. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Wake me up this morning. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Help me start my day. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. New heights I'm gaining. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Always make a way. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Praise God the greatest. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Calvary praise. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Each and every day. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. No one can come in between this happiness I have. Through all the pain and sorrow, I still see tomorrow. If your heart is heavy, He'll give you strength to go on. of This Is Real. I thank God each and every day, and I would like to thank all of my family and friends for the love and support. Sherelle, Miss Lady, loves you guys.
Girl A Michelle here in the studios of the Worldwide Flavor Network. Good morning to everyone. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Oh, what a wonderful morning it is to be here in the studios and just to be alive. And I am just so grateful. I am just so grateful that my theme song just speaks of it in itself. I'm just grateful because, and that's the name of it. Thank you to Sherelle Miss Lady, who is a local artist. I support and promote local artists. So if you are a local gospel artist, and not even just a gospel artist, because we do play secular music on the station, but to run during my show, if you are a gospel artist and you have music and you would like me to, play it on our station, please feel free to send it to me. Please reach out to me. We are always looking to promote good music here on the Worldwide Flavor Network. I am just so grateful. We are coming up on 1 year anniversary of the Worldwide Flavor Network, and I'm just so grateful. I saw some Facebook will keep you remembering some things, and Facebook sent me some reminders of just last year this time how we were just getting things moving and shaking and getting ready to move with this launch of Worldwide Flavor Network. And Thursday will be 1 year that Worldwide Flavor Network has been in existence. And so I'm hoping you will join us on Thursday doing the Hot Topics live show. We will be here in the studios, and I'm giving free opportunities for people to come for about 2 minutes, 3 minutes at the max for you to come and promote your business, because I am a hard promoter of our African American businesses. And if you're doing good business and all that good stuff, we want to push your business here on the Worldwide Flavor Network. And I'm going to let you come between 7 and 9. We just going to say, what you got going on with your business. Today, I am promoting Eric Randall, Be More Like Us, his business today. And I will be with the Worldwide Flavor Network today. We will be at the back to school event that Michael Floyd and his team put together. It's going to be over on Florence Avenue. Please come and hang out with us and join. We're going to be giving out some school supplies. And as a part of our 1 year anniversary, we are going to be giving out backpack kits. So we're going to give them out, but it's going to be a drawing. We're not just going to give out the backpack kits because we don't have enough for everybody, but we have 8 of them that we're going to give away, and it's going to have a lot of little goodies inside of there and all that good stuff. So we want you to come out and hang out. Those radio hosts that will be able to come, you'll get a chance to take some pictures with them. I know some of them have other activities and things of that nature, but hey, we are doing this. This is our 2nd year participating with this particular back to school event. And so we are truly, truly, truly excited about that because we're coming up on our 1 year anniversary. And last year we participated and we had not even launched Worldwide Flavor just yet. We were in the process, but it had not launched yet. So this year we are 1 year old, and this is our 2nd year participating in this activity. And so I hope you will come out and join us on this afternoon at 3 o'clock on Florence Avenue. I have it posted on my Facebook page. It's posted on Worldwide Flavor page, all that good stuff. And so I have had a wonderful, busy, as you guys know, I'm always busy, but I had a really busy weekend and celebrating my girl, Diva Nay. We want to say happy birthday to her. Her birthday was on Friday, and we celebrated her on Friday evening and had an absolute ball. And, we hung out way past our bedtimes, and I had a long day yesterday. So, tonight, girl gonna be in the bed real early because, when I tell you, they ain't tell us that maturity part, but it's gonna kick in, and so, but we had so much fun Friday night, just hanging out, the girls, and just having a good time. Got to see my girl Songbird sing, and she just had a wonderful set and wonderful thing going on at the Civil. I believe that's what it's called. It's a new place. Well, I don't know if it's new, I've been in the location, but it was called something else.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
now the civil, I'm not sure if they are new, is just now in that location. Okay. And it's on Charles Street, 518 North Charles Street. And it was really nice. They had live band and all that good stuff. Then they kind of like threw in some open mic and the people could sing. Like it wasn't no, it was none of that foolishness, like foolery, people
Right.
playing around. It was like we had it was like I literally was not ready to go home. Like, and y'all know the girl when she got a lot to do. Like yesterday, I had a long day, and so she be trying to go to bed early, but she didn't even go to bed early Friday night. She just went home, got herself together for Saturday because I was just so grateful. Happy family reunion. I guess you say happy family reunion to a family who had their family reunion this weekend. To the shout out to the Whitehurst, and it's some other names that go with that, but I was there as the photographer this weekend and all that kind of good stuff. And I thank you all for the opportunity with the Whitehurst family and all the other names, because it's a couple names connected when you got a family going on. But the Whitehursts are who I know. And so they're the ones who hired me, but and some of the others. But I appreciate you all. I thank you all for actually giving me another opportunity to be able to use one of blessing gifts that and skills that God has given me, because people say you do so much, and I said, I'm just grateful that he gives me all of what I can do. And I use every last bit of what he gives me to do. So I'm just grateful. Thank you, Whitehurst family, for giving me the opportunity to share in such a special moment of your whole day, basically most of your day, in the morning and in the evening. We just had a great time, and that was like, that was like a really good organized family reunion. Like, like they was real organized, and I love that. Those kind of things you like when the program is flowing and things are going right along. We took some photos yesterday morning, and I went and picked up all the supplies for the back to school because my schedule got so weak. Like, how you think I'm going to get this done, and I'm a real time management person, but things kept coming up and I couldn't get out to buy the supplies. And so yesterday I had to go in between the photo shoot and all that good stuff. And even after I finished that, I had to, my schedule didn't allow me because my mama need me for something. So therefore that threw a monkey wrench in my schedule yesterday. So I had to come back here after the family reunion dinner, which was about 12 o'clock last night. I came back here to make sure we had our music for Praise at Daybreak at 5 a.m. this morning. So I came back in here last night, did what I needed to do, went home, but the girl crashed soon as that body hit the bed, she was done. And so I am just grateful. Good morning to Miss Cook, I believe that is. And so I just had a great weekend, and I'm looking forward to the day, giving out the school supplies. Like, that's my thing, supporting businesses, giving to the children as a former educator, knowing how the kids, even when they get in high school, people think, oh, they're in high school, they should be able to get their own. But I'm grateful to be able to help any student, because as a former educator in the school system, not because I still educate and do, but when it comes to being in the school system, these kids really hurt and struggle. And every family can't do what some other families can do. And so us who can do, we want to be able to be a blessing in any way we can possibly be a blessing. So I hope whether you come out today or you participate in some sort of back to school to help families who are less fortunate or who just need some extra help, because some people get the basics, but being able to get all the other extra things that are needed for students to have in order to do well in school, because that's what is important. Absolutely. And so I am just grateful for today. Again, look out for us. I'm going to be doing something this week. We're going to be here in the studios, and I hope you can stop by. You can come and see the new studio, as we have now upgraded and did some things. And so I hope that you will, tune into us, or at least, if not, come in and see it real quick and shout out your business. And that's what I'm going to do. That is what the 1-year anniversary is going to be about, is shouting out people's businesses who are trying to push their business in our community, because a lot of people don't have the money to do the platforms. And I am one who know what it was like when I first started my very first business. We didn't have any social media.
So, therefore, it was always word of mouth.
Exactly.
Somebody had to do something, things of that nature. And so I am always pushing our African American businesses. And if you're not doing right, I'm going to help you. I'm here to help you. People will tell you, I will help you do what needs to be done to make sure it is right, because we don't want that stigma continuing on our community, because we do have some really good businesses out here, really good um, entrepreneurs, and those who have really good product to sell or services to sell. So I thank you so very much. I am so honored though, guys. Y'all just don't know. I was so honored when reached out to her that she was actually available, because I've been trying. My mind had her for July, but because I had to do some transition, I couldn't get her on the schedule because once I had to shift everybody around, I couldn't get her on till August. But I am so elated and grateful that Jamise Lyell is able to be here in the studios today. I have literally been wanting to sit down and talk with her, but my schedule has been so tight, having guests and all the different things I had lined up. But I am grateful that she was available when I first reached out to her. We didn't have to go back and forth, and I appreciate you.
I
Good
appreciate
morning.
you.
Say
Good
good morning,
morning.
everybody.
Good morning.
Oh
Good
my gosh,
morning.
I'm just grateful you are here. I thank you for coming. If you guys don't know who she is, she has two wonderful books out. I've heard everything about these books. I've actually sat in on an interview that she's done with other stations. And like I said, I've been wanting her since I first met her on another show that was here on the Worldwide Flavor Network. But because I had so many scheduled people, I couldn't get her in. But I'm glad she was able to come and share with me on today. How are you?
Wonderful.
Great. Thank you. I am great. I am great. In spite of, all of the busyness I have going on, I'm grateful that God gives me the strength to do it all.
Amen. Absolutely.
That's all I can tell you. Because some days I be sitting saying, he's honestly, I be saying, how did I used to run them streets like that?
I'm the
Like,
same way.
I be sitting up saying, how did I used to run them? And I'm going to tell you, girl, I don't know if you know, I'm a hairstylist.
Oh, no.
So I used to be in the salon 4:30, 5 o'clock on Saturday morning.
Wow.
Okay. And
and
girl,
I
I'm still
get it.
trying to figure out how I used to stay out all night on a Friday night, go home, take a shower.
I understand. I
And
used to do the same thing.
I'm just trying to figure out how I did all that. And I mean, and did all the other stuff you had to do too. So I'm sitting up here like, woo, like Friday night, I was having fun. But girl, when that 12 o'clock started inching, it was almost like Cinderella almost. You felt like
sometimes it'd be before 12.
girl. And I'm gonna tell you, I think only because I didn't have a long day on my full-time job.
Okay.
We got off a half a day. So though I didn't get my nap like I was planning to, me just being able to kind of kick back and just do some work just for the station, I kind of had that degress moment. You know what I'm saying? Got changed, came here, did some things, getting ready for that show that night. And then I had to go to the party, and I was just like, okay. So like around 9:30, I did start yawning, but I made it through. You just, you pump up and you get yourself together. And then, but at 12 something, girl, I was like, whoo. I had to get up, start walking around. You gotta start walking around and all that good stuff. But yes, I am grateful that you could join me on today. Who is she? That's what I want the viewers to know. I want people to know who you are before we even get into the books first. Who are you? Who is Jamise? What is Jamise about? She's a beautiful woman. Is always when I've seen her, she's always so beautiful. She always has herself together. But who is she? Is this a married name or maiden name?
No, that's my maiden name.
That's your maiden name. Okay. So, because sometimes the person who was the maiden name is sometimes a little different than the person who's now the married name. So this being the maiden name, who is she? Who is she? What is she about?
I am a woman of God, entrepreneur. By day, I am a reconciliation
technician for a major insurance company.
Okay.
A author, entrepreneur. Um, I used to be in the entertainment business. That's where I started at
Okay. In
as an
what
artist
capacity?
manager.
Okay.
Artist manager, photographer. I used to do throw events, event planning.
Okay, so
um,
is our lives switching around? So okay, I was already an event planner. I'm now an artist manager.
yeah,
I
so
am a photographer. So
we
wait a minute, our
reverse.
lives is like okay. Wait
Yeah,
a minute, are we switching around?
yeah, we reversing roles.
Wow,
Yeah, so I
wow,
mean, it's a lot. I've done a lot of things. Sometimes I have to, like I was telling somebody the other day, I have to go back and Google myself sometimes
wow.
just to remember some of the stuff that I
And so
actually
you came along
did.
in that Google world. We didn't have all that.
Well, I actually started from MySpace. When I
Okay.
used to do my events
So
and
you know,
started with artist
I ain't
management,
even fooled
I
with
met
none
a
of that
lot of
stuff.
people from MySpace. And then
Okay.
somebody came to me one day and said, "You should check out Facebook." That's when Facebook first started. And I was like, "What is Facebook?" I was so used to the MySpace world and the Black
Right.
Planet world.
Right.
So I was doing promoting on those sites. And
Okay.
that's how I met a lot of people and did my events and just paper flyers and things of that nature.
And because
So,
I guess because I was in the hair industry and I traveled a lot, that's how mine came about.
right.
I never got into the Black Planet. I never got into the MySpace.
Okay.
My cousins and them kept trying, and family member friends, and girl, you need to get on there. And I'm like, no,
Right.
I didn't want to. It was enough that when we started dealing with the plug up for the internet, like
Oh
that
yeah,
was
that whole
enough for
dial up
that.
and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
that was
Yeah, so
enough for
AOL
me.
dial up and
Oh
all of
my
that.
goodness, I had Earthlink.
Oh
Okay, oh my
wow.
God, right. And so for me, I was like, nah,
Right.
you know, like I really wasn't feeling none of that
Okay. Got you.
because I was a private
Person.
business person.
Okay.
So like I did business, I was behind the scene. So
Yeah.
it was like I came out because you brought me out.
Got
Meaning you was like,
And-
oh, you connected me, bam.
And I was like that too. Like I was, even though I played that part on the internet of meeting people, networking, I still played that behind the scenes role. Like I didn't want to be in the forefront. Like
Right.
I've always, people knew who I was. And then they'll say, "Oh, that's the one from that does the events. That's the one from MySpace, blah blah blah." But I still stayed behind the scenes a lot.
When
So,
I got on Facebook, because my girlfriend said, if you're gonna get into this, back into this the way you want to, you're gonna have to get on Facebook or
Facebook,
something.
right.
Because I was on LinkedIn.
Okay.
So I had grown
Yeah, I
to
was
like
on there
LinkedIn and
too.
all that
Yeah.
stuff. But she was like, if you're gonna get into this, you're gonna have to get on Facebook and all that
You had to
stuff.
put yourself
So I
out there.
gradually got on there and I was trying to be, because you know you want to control everything. So you want to make sure you doing this thing right.
Exactly.
So I did that and I got involved in the Facebook and I started having people reach out to me like, did you move out of state? What happened to you? Where you been? And I'm like, no, I've been here all along.
Right.
I
You was
just
just
kind of
laying
when I
low.
fell off the grid, I fell off the
Right.
grid because you used to see me at everything, and then I just kind of fell
I
off
did
the
the same
grid.
exact thing.
You
Yeah.
know, so wow. So you said she is a woman of God. She's an author. She is a entrepreneur. She works for a conglomerate in the insurance business. Okay, what type of family woman is she?
Well, I had a son. I lost my son, so we'll get into that. I love my family. Everybody knows that. I'm
Okay.
always family is everything. So,
Okay.
not that I get to see them as much because I'm trying to build my business.
Absolutely.
So I hope they understand that. But
Right.
I'm all about family.
I know I
so.
had to miss a family reunion, a 1 day thing our family was doing, but I was already scheduled to do photos
Right. I
yesterday.
feel you.
And so I'm hoping my family will forgive me as well
Right.
because
It's
I
okay.
really wanted to participate in it, but I knew I was just my schedule was so compact. So you
I'm sure they
enjoy.
understand.
I
Like
hope so.
I didn't miss my family reunion this year, but I did miss it last year. So I just
Okay.
I have to make some time and get there this year because we
Right.
don't really get to see each other that often. So
Right.
and I had to travel out of state,
Okay.
to
Yeah.
see them. But I'm all about family, But when you're trying to build your business and you're trying to get to that next level, It takes you away from a lot of things. You got to learn how to, get that balance.
I try to
you
tell
know.
people we definitely have to have the
Yeah.
balance. We have to have all of that, and I try my best to be as time management conscious as I possibly can. People say how you get to so many events in a course of a day is because when I map out my time, Jamise, I map out drive time, all that, and incidentals of something happening in traffic. Those kind of things to try to make sure to support.
Right.
That's just how I am. So I understand, and the work-life balance can be very
It's
challenging.
very challenging
Very
because you have to get up, go to work for somebody else, and then you coming home, and then you got to push yourself to try to get everything done for your business. Then you still got to get your rest in. So it's a lot, it
And
takes a
saying that
lot.
that you said you push for your own business, I believe that's where people get the discouragement when they don't see the business taking off the way they want to, but then they have to keep pushing, and it's like they give up. So many of them.
And I talked about this not too long ago. And the reason being is because you have that cushion. And because you're getting up every day and you're going to work, whether you get paid weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever
Definitely
the
coming
case may
in.
be, that if you're getting up going to work every day, that check is coming to you.
Mhm.
Whereas though with your business, that might not always be the case. You create a website, you're running a business, every day might not be a good day. You might not get sales one day. So that can discourage you because you look at the fact, well, I still have my job.
Mhm.
I'm still gonna go to work. But even so, that's not guaranteed these days.
Girl, that was you
but
right.
I
You
won't get into
absolutely right.
details about
Girl,
that.
let me tell you,
But,
we can talk about that. I know that
exactly.
feeling.
And that's why I try to encourage people and tell them to start a business. The money will come if you stick with it. If you believe in yourself, if you keep pushing, if you stick with it, other people will believe in you. Build relationships with people, build friendships with people, and the money will come. But I try to
Absolutely.
tell people, start that business. If it's something you really want to do, start it. Because I had like a major setback last week. It would have been a major setback, let me say, if I didn't have a business.
See,
because I had to kick out money to get my car fixed. My
girl had to get a new car. How about that?
My warranty didn't cover it like I thought it was. If I didn't have that business, I would have been in a bind. But because I had that business and I have other income coming in and other investments that I made, it kind of was like, okay, I got to do what I got to do. I got it done, and money come right back.
Girl, that's what somebody said to me. Like, it's mighty funny you said that. They were like, I didn't know you were still in the salon at least 2 days a week.
Exactly. Multiple
I said,
streams
y'all
of
have to
income.
understand. And now I need that income where it used to be like a little fun money for me. Okay, the truck broke down. They told me how much it was going to cost. They told me how much it was already worth. It wasn't worth it.
Right. So you had to go.
So I had to go buy something. Now I got a car payment that I ain't want to have, y'all. Y'all don't understand. Sister don't like car payments. Y'all don't understand. I'm serious. Right.
That's how I feel.
So I had to give, honestly, I had to give up vacation this year. I had to sacrifice some savings on top of that. So now, I'm starting at the drawing board all over again because I had to do some things with the upgrading of the station and all that kind of stuff. So everything came at the same time. But like when I say at the same time.
And it happens that way. But the key thing is you didn't get discouraged and you're not giving up. You're still pushing forward.
Absolutely.
Sometimes when certain things like that hit a person, they just
shut down.
They shut down and they don't know how to get back up.
Oh, girl, you saying the truth. You gotta keep going. And I think that came because I was, I said I was a hairstylist. So when I became an independent stylist, because I worked for a chain salon at first. Okay. And then I had my little customers at home that didn't come to the salon. Right. Okay. So I had my little clientele at home. And then I was like, look, y'all, I can't keep leaving the salon and then coming home doing more hair. It was getting to be much. Even though I was young, it was just like you didn't have that. There was no balance there. Right. Exactly. Okay. So then I ended up becoming an independent stylist and was doing all of that. And when I got my own, and I worked in my own salon as an independent stylist, and then I ended up with my own salon. Okay. So getting your own salon, I'm going to tell you 30 days later, girl, I was sitting up here saying, Lord, because I was used to just paying my booth rent and keeping on moving. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I worked for a hair company, freelancing. Okay. So I traveled for them at times. Girl, I was like, But now I can truly say I had my salon for 20 years and God never let the lights get cut off. water not be paid.
That's
You know,
awesome.
he just kept, when I said that to him, he showed me that you can do
Yeah,
this.
right.
And at the time, I ain't had no degrees or nothing in
Right.
how to run a business. I just remember watching my aunt whose salon I used to work in when we were kids. You know, I
Right.
grew up in the salon.
Salon,
So,
right.
you know, growing up in the salon, watching her, you know, I just watched them. She didn't show me how to do the paperwork and how to do this. I did have I did have a little 2-year degree by time I got my salon, but it wasn't, you know, intensified because, you know, 2-year degree was just that. And then
Right.
you watching and you're doing, but it's not till you really get in it that the real work and
Exactly.
learning. Don't get me wrong, the degrees are wonderful. So I'm not trying to tell nobody that the degrees aren't helpful,
Right.
but I'm gonna tell you, it's not till you literally are working in your business and you have to work those numbers and work those things to work for your business and make sure things are coming together. And I didn't have an extra job. Yes, I did the freelance, but that was not always guaranteed. That was
Right.
nice little extra. So I know when you say, you know, your hustle got to be real, you got to be pushing
Exactly.
through, you know, you still got to do it. I had every day I got up, I had to go to the salon. I didn't have another job to go to.
Right.
You know, I didn't have
Yeah.
another job. And then when it came time, sometimes in the salon got a little slow and things got a little hectic. And I had to get a little extra something. So
Exactly.
then I went and got me a little part-time job and did what I had to do. So I've always had this hustle mentality and
Exactly.
the hustle mindset. And then when life really did happen,
Right.
and I
'Cause
had
life
to
will happen.
put the degrees, because at this time now I done got a bachelor's and now I done got an MBA and all this kind of stuff. Life happened.
Exactly.
And I had to go back to full work. Like I've been a school teacher and all those kind of different things, but you know, all that happened for a reason to help me be in the place that
Place
I'm
that you
in
are
today.
now. Yeah.
So I'm just grateful and hearing you, you know, say the same thing. And we had not talked about it. That's a good thing because, you know, it helps confirm some things, and hopefully for those who are watching, it can help them see the
Exactly.
same, you know, struggles and the same perseverance we have, not just the struggles but the perseverance that we push
Right.
through, regardless that
Well,
your car broke down and you
it-
still was able to push through and had
exactly.
that little extra on the side to
Right.
be able to get yours fixed,
Right.
you know.
Yeah. So I mean,
Thank God for what I had to be able to get a
get a
new
new car.
vehicle. You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying?
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
So
because
it
that Uber and Lyft is good for a moment
and I
till you
thank
got to
God
go
I
across
didn't have
town.
to use that. Right. You know. So, but with everything that you do, it's going to be some obstacles. You know, some struggles. You just got to get up and keep going. Put
Right.
God first. I said that this morning. Have faith and trust Him. You know, if you
Absolutely.
believe in God, trust Him because you know He might not come when you want Him to, but He will come on time.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And I'm truly grateful for that. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick little break, let you get a little bit of water if you need to, and all that good stuff. And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about these books
All
and all
right,
that good
let's get
stuff.
into it.
And so, we hope you will stay tuned with us. We're going to listen to another local artist, Naomi B. If you don't know her, she is a local gospel artist who is just absolutely phenomenal. And so I'm hoping that you will stay tuned in with us here on the Worldwide Flavor Network on the Baltimore Flavor Gospel Show. It's your girl, A. Michelle.
Because He lives, I can face tomorrow. Because He lives, all of my fear is gone. And yes, I know who holds my future. And life is worth the living just because He lives. He lives. He lives. He lives. He lives. Oh, He lives. He lives. He lives. Got to tell somebody. He lives. He lives. He lives. Because He lives. because he lives. He lives. He lives. My God lives. Yeah. He lives. He lives. Oh, he lives. He lives. He lives. He lives. Everybody sing. Because he lives. La, la, because he lives. Now all my fear is gone. All because I know he holds my future. Life is worth living just. All because he lives. Living just. That's the reason I live. Living just. I'm not ashamed to say. Living just. All because he lives. Sing everybody sing. Oh, yes, they did. They kissed the but on that Thursday, he
What's going on, everybody? This is Brandon Sean Fields of Blind Productions. You're tuned in with A. Michelle on the Baltimore Flavor Gospel Show on the Worldwide Flavor Network.
And we are back here on the Baltimore Flavor Gospel Show. It's your girl, A. Michelle, here on the Worldwide Flavor Network. Please follow us on all of our social media. Go to our website, all of that good stuff. Our website is www.worldwideflavornetwork.com. And we are on all social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope, Instagram. And if you want to share, for those who don't have any social media, you can still share today's show after we finish, though. On the Mixcloud, you can always share that link with other friends who would be, encouraged by listening to our show. So you can always get them to tune in that way. But also, we would like for you to follow us. Our radio station is a 24-hour a day, 7-day a week radio station. So you are able to listen to music all day long, other than when there is a show going on. If the show is going on, like we just had a music break, those are the times you would hear music. But other than that, you are able to listen to all variety of music. And again, if you are a local artist and you have clean music, we are more than welcome to showcase your music here on the Worldwide Flavor Network. Trust me, I love to support our artists as an artist manager myself, an independent artist manager. It allows you to be able to showcase your artists and all of the people who who don't have all the platforms to be able to get their music out there, but it gives opportunity and it opens up more opportunity as well. So again, please follow us on all our social media. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And again, on this week, we will be celebrating 1 year of Worldwide Flavor Network being an open station. And so we hope that you will tune in all week long with other shows that we have. We do have some new upcoming shows coming soon. And so we just want you to join in with us. And if you would like to have your own radio show, please reach out to us. We would be glad to talk with you and we will help you build your platform. Don't feel like you're in it by yourself. I don't know how to do it, but if you have something that can help our community, why not? Why not share? Stop everybody keeping everything in a box and keeping it to themselves. But if you have something that can share with our community that can make a difference in all around. When I say our community, it's not just about the African American race. I'm speaking of our community as a human race. And so, therefore, we ask that you would just reach out to us. We will be glad to talk with you to help you build your platform here on the Worldwide Flavor Network. And so, we are back with our guest, author Jamise. I am just so glad that she is here on today. And so, we are now going to start talking about these two wonderful books that she has. I hope, am I supposed to say the hope part, or am I just okay? I can and I will. And God kept me. Okay. God kept me. I don't know why I thought that was called something
Somebody
else.
else said keep too when they read it.
I was like, I looked at it, I'm like, wait a minute. In my mind, I said that. Okay. But if you have not seen these two books, you may want to get them, because when you hear her story, it's nothing but God, and you know that only God could have kept you
Amen.
doing the things that you have been challenged with over those years, and to continue to persevere. That's what's encouraging. So, which book do we want to start with first? Is the red book is the first book, right?
That's the first
Let's
book.
start with the first book. Let's talk about that. How and why did that book come about?
Well, that book came about because of the loss of my son. My son was 2.5 years old. I lost him due to a freak choking accident while he was eating a small piece of a hot dog. So I really don't want to, get too deep into the story. I've talked about it, over and over again. And that's like the
But we
first
have
story in the
viewers.
book.
I know,
right?
I know. I don't want you to get too deep into it, but because we want people to buy the book.
Right. Right.
But we want you to give a little bit of history on what encouraged you to write that book.
Well, yeah, to write that book. Actually, it was just like a walk with God. It was like, how you're like, I would go to work and some days I would be quiet, like always quiet, stand to myself, and people kind of misunderstand you. Like, you're always quiet, you're always this, and you're building all this stuff up inside of you, all these emotions, things that you want to get out, but you really don't know how to express yourself, or don't really want to talk about what you're going through, to other people. So it was just like this walk with God. I had to talk to God. I prayed daily, just started reading more positive and inspirational books. Two other authors that I was actually working with, I was reading their books, and it kind of like pushed me to like, okay, this is how you can do it. This is how you can put out there what you're actually going through, how you're actually feeling, all the stuff that you've been through over the past couple of years, and it can actually help somebody else.
So your son's death allowed you to have a closer relationship with God, or were you already in a relationship with God prior to your son, and or because of his death, his situation allowed you to encounter a closer walk with him?
I already had a relationship with God. I was brought up in the church, New Shiloh Baptist Church, when I was younger.
Okay.
So my mother always took me to church. Me, my mother, my father. I grew up in a two-parent household. So I've already had that relationship with God. But as the years go on, you get older, you drift away. I wasn't obedient to God. I was, I would pray, but I would still do my own thing. So that means I wasn't listening to God. I would just pray.
Or not waiting for his answer. Let's say
hard,
that.
Right. and not following what he wanted me to do. So the death of my son actually set me down and made me build a stronger relationship with God, where I could actually listen to him and hear what he wanted me to do and the path that I needed to take to get back on track.
Okay.
So, so with that, that's how the book came about, because I just needed to release some things, and not really, like I say, wanting to sit down with a counselor, go to counseling and everything. I wanted to do mine in a different way. And this is what God led me to do. And not knowing what, the book would do. This is my first time writing a book. I didn't know that it would do the numbers that it did, take off and change so many people's lives, and encourage and empower and inspire other people. So now it's just a blessing, because with this book, I was able to see other people, say, "Oh, I'm so proud of you," and now they have a book, or they started writing their book and they've reached out to me. So many people behind the scenes that's actually reaching out to me for me to help them with their book. So it's a blessing.
So with this book, would you say that it's one that would help someone who is dealing with grief?
Oh, absolutely. Because the first story in the book talks about I give the entire story of what transpired that day. From the time we woke up that morning, from me taking my son to school, from picking him up, and how the accident actually happened, as far as going to the hospital, different people who came to the hospital to be by my side, my family. And after that, that story ends, I, thank everybody. So it's a big section of thanking everybody for being there for me, after the fact, and I go into life after death, like what actually happened as far as depression, anxiety.
Were you
trying
with
to get
him when this happened though?
Yes, I
You
was.
was with him? Okay.
Yes. So I tell all of that in the book. It was
Okay.
me and my mother there at the time
Okay.
because I surprised him that day. I had her in the car. We picked him up from school, so he was excited. So it was,
Oh, okay.
but it definitely will help others because, like I said, I talk about life after death, all the things I went through, not working, just trying to get my life back on track. I was
Okay.
blessed at the time where, as though I didn't have to work for a couple years. So, I had that ability to stay home, with him. My
Awesome.
mother had just retired maybe like a week or two before he passed because she wanted to be able to be
Wow.
home and spend time with her grandson. So it was a lot. Um, but in the book, I talk about that. I talk about not just the loss of my son. I talk about other things I went through as far as my house going into foreclosure, my car being repossessed. But I didn't go like into detail about what happened with those situations. So that's probably going to be in my next book.
Okay. Okay.
But just to let people know that things happen through life. You're gonna struggle. I've been through bankruptcy twice. Nobody might, so just things people don't know what you go through financially. But I'm here now. I put God first. I put my trust in Him. I pray daily, sometimes throughout the day. And this is where I'm at now. I don't have any complaints. I'm blessed.
I know that's right.
So He take it away. A lot of people blame it on the devil. I really don't,
No,
go
we
that
can't. We
route. I
can't keep
say,
giving him all those props. We
sometimes
can't. Sometimes God has a reason that He
He
has to.
sits you down and take
Right.
things away, and then it's not really that. It's not the devil. Sometimes you gotta look at yourself. It's the decisions and things that you make in
Correct.
life that got you to
Correct.
that point. So,
Correct. Absolutely. And
right.
that is so important that when you take a self-assessment evaluation,
Exactly.
it can really change your own outlook. But you got to be true to that
yourself, right.
evaluation, not just saying you want to evaluate yourself, but then not really evaluating yourself
Right.
because you want it to sound pretty.
Right. And
It sounds good,
that's
and
what a lot
it's
of
not
people do.
always a pretty picture. Sometimes
Right.
you gotta look at the ugly in order to see the beautiful.
Beautiful. Exactly. You
So
gotta keep it
honestly,
real
that
with
was just
yourself.
great to hear. So through those challenges that you've had to encounter, when you encountered the foreclosure, the bankruptcy, and all of those things, was this after the son or prior to the son? All of his death.
Some of it was going on prior, and
Mhm.
then going through the transition with the whole foreclosure and stuff. That took time, so
Mhm.
that came before and after
Okay.
dealing with certain situations. The car situation was before him, but I was blessed enough to have another car before they even came and took that
Awesome.
car. So
Awesome. Awesome.
that's why I said God is good. And the foreclosure, everything went on after he passed away.
Okay.
I was still blessed, still in a blessed situation where I didn't have to work, and God blessed us with a new home.
And He
So,
will recover you. He is a
and
God of recovery,
and
and that's a
the house I
blessing.
have now is actually better than the one I had before. So, He take it away, give it back to you tenfold. So
Absolutely, and
you
better
just
than what it was. So
exactly.
sometimes He has to strip us in order to put us in a place that we can be better.
Yep,
And the better is better because of His way and not our way.
Amen. And even with the car situation, the car got repossessed. I already had another car, and then God upgraded me again to another car.
Hey,
And
look at that.
So
That's
you
just how
can
He'll
see-
do.
exactly.
I'm excited for you just hearing the story, the backdrops of the part of this book of how it shows how you can take a major loss and how God can recover you in major losses, not one
Yeah,
loss, but
so amen.
multiple losses, and find you in a whole nother place. And that's what He will do.
Exactly.
And He will do it.
Even with, like, I talk about the job situation and just trying to find my way to get back on track because, like we talked about before, I was so used to running around and running my business and working and just doing me and being independent that once that anxiety and that depression sets in, that plays a big part too of not
Okay.
being able to
So
be
you went
around
through that.
people, not being able to work. So then I finally, got back on my feet. I got into like the multi-level marketing business with a few people just to surround myself around people and get back out there. That didn't last too long. It didn't work out. That's not something I really wanted to do. But then I started to get back into the working world, and that's when I got back into photography, and I got a job with a company that does school pictures. I won't say
Okay.
their name,
Right.
but
Absolutely.
I traveled, from Pennsylvania to Virginia to DC, Maryland, doing cap and gown pictures
Okay.
and senior portraits. So that kind of pushed me back out there.
Okay.
Did that for a while, and then I moved on, took a break, and then that's when I drifted over into the insurance business.
Okay. So you did go through a state of depression. You
Oh
did
yeah,
go through
absolutely.
a period
2
where
years.
okay.
2
Okay.
years where I didn't want to do anything. And I guess that's another reason because I didn't have to work. God blessed me to a point where I didn't have to work. So I wasn't pressured to have to get up out the bed in the morning, wake up to an alarm clock, which was not a good thing because I
Mhm.
didn't want to get out of bed. And some days I didn't get out of bed. I sat and played on Facebook all day, and just
Wow.
posting motivational and positive messages all day. But in my mind, I was so messed up, laying
Mm.
in the bed not wanting to do anything, and friends calling me and people calling me to check on me, but I didn't want to talk. And then like my cousin would call me, she called me daily, and she knew I wasn't okay, and she would ask me, "Are you okay?" And I would be like, "I'm fine," but in the inside, as soon as I got off the phone with her, I would start crying.
Mm.
So it was hard, but I can say I had that major support system from my family and my friends. They never left my side, and to
Awesome.
this day, people know, they say, people can hear you when you're quiet. So, I have that support system where I have friends that know when I get quiet or they ask me, do I want to do something? And I'll be like, no, I'm just not feeling up to it. I have something to do. Sometimes they know, no, she is something more going on with her. Let me call and just make sure. So I'm
Okay.
grateful and thankful for that.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome. Awesome. I am glad to hear that because, depression is real and people have put themselves in places that they don't um always want to face it that they
right,
are in depression. And where I have had to, some people think depression is always that depression where you just want to be away from everybody
right,
and things of that nature, but people don't understand also depression is a form when you are workaholic,
exactly.
when you keep yourself so busy that you can't sit still,
No.
that you don't
Mhm.
even want to be in your own house sometimes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's all types of
Yeah, it's
depression.
so
People,
many forms of depression, and depression is real.
right.
And some people can bounce back without getting help, and some people need
You
just a little
sure?
bit of encouragement in a sense of a counselor. And it's okay
Right.
and it's safe if you get a good
Good
counselor.
counselor.
I'm not
Right.
going to say all counselors are, but it is a good thing. It is helpful. I know we grew up in the era of keep your business to yourself, don't talk to nobody, don't tell nobody your business. But I can assure you, getting help is not just for you, but it helps those
Oh,
who you are connected with.
exactly.
That means your husband, your children, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your mother, your father. It really helps. And so when you were going through your depression state, were you in a place where you had to go get help, or did God just eventually bounce you back?
God just bounced me back, and it was me, just me personally. I didn't want to sit down and talk to a counselor. I just
Okay.
didn't want to go that route for some reason. I just didn't.
Hmm.
I didn't want to sit on anybody's couch. I didn't want to keep talking to somebody about my problems or what I was going through. But even still, that goes back to like my support system. I had family members and friends that I could talk to.
Okay. Well,
That
that's a form of counseling.
yeah, that
But
would
long as you got people
right,
that's stable minded. Now,
e-
because I'm not always saying
right,
pushing that a person has to go to a clinical counselor. You could have good
right,
friends, good family
exactly,
members that will sit there
and
and just be
listen.
a listener. They
Right.
don't even have to give you no advice or anything, but be a good listener. So that
Right.
was still
Yeah. So
counseling. That would still help.
that was my form of counseling. Then I had family members that would like, I had a cousin who would say she didn't even probably know that she was actually helping me at the time because she lives in another part of Maryland. And she would say, why don't you come down to my house and stay? So it got to a point where I was going down to Waldorf like on a regular basis,
Okay.
hanging out with her, and we were hanging out. And I never said to her, this is what I'm going through per se, but just being able to get away was like a relief of being in a different
Going to Waldorf
environment.
is like a
And
road trip.
right,
So
exactly.
that
Well,
was
it is
it's a
right.
road
So
trip. So that was like a
so
little mini vacation
and I
sometimes.
never said that to her like, oh, you just don't know what I'm going through. I really needed this, but
Mhm.
that's another thing that helped me out a lot. And then just like I said, the support system and just talking to God. It got to a point where I just was like, I woke up and I was like, I can't do this no more. I can't fake it anymore. I can't get up and wake up in the morning and post a positive message on Facebook just to make people
Living in
think I'm
defeat.
okay. And I'm really not. And it got to a point where, so that's when I kind of pushed away and I started reading the inspirational books, the motivational books, started talking to God more, started actually coming out because I was telling people, no, I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like doing that. But then I was like, I got to get around people a little bit more. And that's what kind of pushed me to get back. And I was like, okay, this walk with God is actually getting me back on track to where I need to be. And that's when I started meeting, different people and actually being in the business of multi-level marketing. I met one of the authors. She was my mentor. So I was under her in the business, and she actually wrote a book, and that's how it kind of started. I was sitting at home one day and I had my journal in front of me and I had her book in front of me and another author's book in front of me.
So you
And
were
I was
already
skimming
journaling
through.
prior to.
Oh yeah. I was
Okay,
just,
good.
yeah, I
Good
was
then.
already writing stuff down because even with little positive messages that I would write, even if it was stuff I
Oh,
saw
okay.
on the internet, I would rewrite it to my own words.
Okay.
So I would write it down
Awesome.
before I posted it.
Awesome.
So I was sitting there reading her book, and her book is not that long. I think it's actually shorter than mine.
Wow.
So right. So I was reading her book and I was like, this is like, powerful. I can do
Okay.
this.
Okay.
So and then I skimmed through the other author's book and I was like, you know what? I can do this. I think what I'm going to do is take what I'm going through and put it into words, and it can help myself and somebody else.
Okay.
And I picked up the pen and started writing. And once I started writing, I couldn't stop writing.
So were you already an avid writer?
Well, I wrote poetry in the past.
Okay, so you
Being in the
are.
music business and working with different artists and constantly in the studio and traveling back and forth to Virginia, I actually done a few songs, as far as songwriting.
Okay.
So I can write, and never really thought about writing a book. Like in the past when I was younger, my mother used to always joke and say, "You're gonna write a book one day." And I'd be like, no, she don't know what she's talking about. But
Wow.
she knew my talents as far as poetry and just staying to myself. And I actually even have I tried my hand at being a music producer also. So I actually have an album out,
Okay.
which is on like
Congratulations.
iTunes and
Okay.
different stuff that you can download, CD Baby and
Okay.
stuff, which is called Music Without Voice.
Okay.
So that was like another form of therapy for me too. Like when I get in my moments of just not wanting to be around people, I'll get on the computer and start making beats and stuff like that.
So with that album, is that like a spoken word album with
It's
music
just
and
straight,
is it just
straight beats,
just
like
straight beats? That's
right?
wow.
Like different types of beats though. And I've actually one of the beats that's actually on the album, another artist that he goes by the name of Unreal, he used one of the beats. So he actually has a song out. We pushed
Wow.
that a little bit. It's not something that I really pushed. But
Right.
I've done it. Like I said, I have to go back to Google sometimes and remind myself because people will ask, well, remember when you used to do this? And I'd be like, oh yeah, I did do that. Because I used to DJ too.
Oh, go ahead, girl.
I've
Go
DJ'd
ahead.
a
Now that's something
couple
I've been saying. I want to at
wanted to
least
do. Oh
want
yeah,
to
it's
learn,
to
at
do.
least
Yeah,
learn.
so
Like just
I've
because like I do the boards and different stuff like that, but just being able to get in there and do it. I watched this little girl. I don't know if you've
oh
seen
yeah,
her
I know
on
who you're
Facebook.
talking about.
Oh
You're
my
talking
gosh,
about
she
DJ
just be so
AEC.
yes,
Yeah,
girl, she be just so inspiring to want to
yeah,
learn even
right.
more. But I've always loved music. I've always wanted to be in the arena.
Yeah, right.
And because of when I was growing up, I would have been in the music business a long time ago in the capacity that I'm in now.
Right.
But I had this mother who just, had all the fear in me
Okay.
of, launching out. And it wasn't till I worked for the hair company that God then broke that spirit of fear
Okay.
of launching out on your own.
Right.
Even though I had my own salon and was an independent worker, the fear of moving away and doing, like, I wanted to travel. I've always traveled.
Right.
I've always wanted those things. But when I went to work for the hair company, it broke a spirit that was in me because of the fear of trying, launching out on certain things.
Right.
And so with that, it put me in a place that, hey, then once when God broke that spirit, I was like, you couldn't stop me. I was just like going all the time doing, and it was, and I thank God for that opportunity of working for the hair company, an African American hair company at that. And then our CEO, who was just like everything in motivation. And that's where I got into the whole key of being a pusher for businesses and an encourager and all of that. That's where it really resonated in me. I would always speak encouragement to you, but it pushed me to the point that it's not an option with me. Like, you can talk as negative as you want. Now you may hang up on me because you don't want to hear it, which
But
I
they
have.
hear you.
But
They hear you.
but I in turn am going to continue to push the positive on that. So wow,
Yeah, and
that's
I mean,
awesome.
and that's how I've always been, that type with that entrepreneur spirit, because my mother and father, even though they had the college degrees and the good government jobs, and my father was traveling always, like with the military and stuff like that, they always had their side business. Like, I started out with them at an early age with doing a flea market. Like, we were doing Patapsco flea market when Patapsco only had one building.
Wow.
So we were doing the flea market when the drive-in movie theater was
Oh my
at
gosh.
Route 40 Westview.
Wow.
When it wasn't, they used the parking lot.
Right.
They used to get me up out the bed like maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. We had to go sleep in the car, tell us
To have your spot. Make sure you have your spot.
the good spot. So they had me doing that at an early age, and by doing that, being down the flea market on the weekends, my mother was selling cassette tapes and stuff out front, clothes. You name it, they were selling. My father had a booth on the inside, so they were working together. If you couldn't get it from her, you could go inside and get it from him, or he could bring it out, or I was the person working in between to go get it from him. So it allowed me to meet a lot of people at an early age, like DJ Nelly. Now he used to be DJ D Smooth. So I met him at the flea market.
Wow.
So we became cool, and that's how I got into the whole DJ thing.
Okay.
Then DJ Booby, my mother was working for him. Like, he had his mixtapes he would bring down to the flea market, and he asked her that she wanted to collab with him. So she started selling his mixtapes on her table. And then we would go up to Metro 2 at the plaza and pick up the tapes. So it just allowed me to connect and meet with a lot of people. And I've always had that entrepreneurial spirit in me, even though, I've been to college, I dropped out, I've been twice, it just wasn't for me at the time. But I always had that mindset of, I'm going to run my own business. And that's where I'm at right now. Whereas though, even though I'm working a job, I'm in that mindset now. Like, yeah, I want to go get the new car. For my birthday, I went and looked and I said, I want to go get the new car, but I really need that right now.
Right.
And I don't. Because my car is fine. So I'm like, I don't. I mean, if you have
make the decisions that's best for your family
so
and
if you have to go do it, you have to. So it's a point where I'm in the process of eliminating the bills.
Okay.
So and I talked about that, the whole fall back to spring forward movement.
Okay.
For me right now, and that's falling back from hanging out a lot and spending extra money that I don't have to, falling back from eating out when I can eat at home, and
taking lunch every day again.
Right.
Look,
exactly.
Who's taking lunch every day again?
Now, and changing my eating habits altogether, a better lifestyle.
But I ate good, even though I ate out every day. Jameis, I ate out every day. I ate salmon and vegetables. I ate good, but I'm gonna tell you something.
But you look
when
at that money
you got a new car payment,
right,
girl, you go home and cook that salmon, put it in, put them in them containers, meal prep, and put them in them containers.
Exactly, you realize you can do it yourself, and so
right.
That's
Well,
I
honestly, that's what I used to do, and you know how you find a place. You find a place that can cook like you. That'll mess you up, girl, because they cook my salmon and vegetables like me. So I was like, ooh, and got lazy. And so literally, like every day, because you kind of start breaking it down. When I buy this and I cut up these pieces of salmon and I do this and how much I save. And when I think about it, like I boiled eggs every morning for breakfast. Well, then I got the 7-Eleven ended up having the 2 boiled eggs in there, and that makes you lazy. So you're like, I can grab them real quick and go on and do my egg stuff in the morning. And then next thing you know, you're like, wait a minute.
You could just buy.
You can just go ahead
you
and
buy a
boil
carton
them
of eggs
yourself.
and boil
You
them
know,
yourself,
you would,
right.
but that's what I did first.
Right.
You need to go back to that age. You know, it was like I used to boil. I boil a whole week, so I take a
Right.
whole carton, boil them all up,
Exactly.
peel them all, put them in the Ziploc bags. That's what I used to do. Then you got lazy because 7-Eleven showed you. I
Well,
got two of them right
Walmart
here.
does it. I still buy them now. I was reading about them how they still good if you buy them, already boiled.
hmm
So Walmart has the bag with like 6 in the bag.
Then I found that. No,
So
I found out
get
about it. Another market, they had like 12 of
Oh,
them in the bag.
really? 'Cause
I ain't even know they
yeah, because
10.
I get
10.
them
It's
from
10 of them in the
Walmart.
bag.
Walmart has 6 in the bag, so
Girl, I
I've
had
been buying
not
them from
seen them. I
Walmart.
had not
But
seen them. My cousin said, when I
but
said,
yeah,
girl, guess
and it's
what?
only
I
like
found a whole bag.
$2. Yeah,
I found a
a
whole
dollar
bag
or
of eggs.
$2 or something.
I said,
So
already boiled. She said, girl, they been selling them. Where you
right.
at? I said, well, girl, I always buy the two being
From
lazy
7-Eleven,
from the
yeah.
7-Eleven. I said, because I got tired of boiling, because I normally would boil them on Sunday.
Right.
Sunday was my day that I did all my meal prep. I used to do all. And girl, when you get that lazy spirit up in you like that, because then you like, okay, I can just go
Just
on and
going
buy
back,
like
right.
this. And then you get away from it. And so like
Yeah,
when the
so
car payment came, okay, Angela, get it to hey Michelle, get in the
get it together.
kitchen,
Right.
get back to cooking, get back to doing. And so it was just like, okay. And then when you really started looking how much you was really spending,
And that's what you have. Like
it's like,
this
wow,
is the
girl.
time of the year where well, the parents are getting ready to send the kids
Mhm.
back to school. I don't have my son, so I
Right.
sit down and I write out my goals for the following year,
Mhm.
and I do that every year. So I do a budget. Like I sat down this year at the beginning of this year, and did a whole budget of what I
Mhm.
pay each month, car insurance,
Absolutely.
what how many more payments I have on my car payment. I
Mhm.
have 2 credit cards I need to, one I paid off. I'm working on paying the other one off,
Mhm.
and just stuff like that. So my goal now is like I tell people, no, they ask me, you want to do? No, I can't do it yet.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I have a budget. Like I have
right,
an entertainment budget. I like even with all the tickets of people wanting you to always buy stuff, like
right,
especially being in a sorority, they always want you to buy tickets to the crab feasts and all that stuff. I used to buy one from everybody all the time, and half the time I don't even eat because they not even gonna have the size crabs I want anyway. So then you
right.
gotta pick through these cold crabs. So but you're doing it out of support. So then you find yourself in a place that you say, okay, this is how many you gonna have when life happened. That whole piece changed for me. So you say, okay, we're only gonna buy 4 tickets this year instead of
And
10.
see, I'm at a point now
I'm not
where
gonna do this.
I will support you, but
Mhm.
I'm at a point now too where you gotta be able to say no without explaining
Oh,
yourself too.
absolutely.
So, not that I'm not going to support you in the future. Right now, and I just got some other things that I'm focused on and I'm trying to take care of. And I'm like, my mindset is, I'm getting to the point where I'm tired of having to ask somebody, can I go on vacation? Just certain things. My mindset is different. So I want to get to the point where I can eliminate these bills, and then by next year sometime I can make that decision of what direction I want to go into.
Mhm.
And I can do my business freely and run my business. If I have to go get a part-time job to pay a few things, the basic stuff,
Mhm. Mhm.
health
Mhm.
insurance, life insurance, whatever the case may be. But that is my goal right now. You get to a point, I'm 40, do I really want to be sitting behind a desk every day?
Mhm.
So that's just my mindset right now
Mhm.
of building my business, making some other investments on the side to try to get me
Absolutely.
to a point, get this car paid off with these last 3 car payments, and continue to write these books. So,
Okay.
I want to do, I want to put this a third book out, which is Suffering in Silence,
Okay.
which I said that goes along with some of the other stuff with depression, anxiety. But that book is just not going to be about me. It's about other people suffering in
Awesome.
silence as well.
So is that a
So
collaborative book, or you just going to be talking about those other situations?
I'm that's really me just talking about those other situations. I've
Okay.
talked to a few people and asked them, could we sit down and let's
Do
tell your
interviews or
story.
okay.
Let's tell
Because
your
I know
story and
people are getting
change the
into a lot of the
names.
collaborative
Yeah.
book things, so that's why I was asking, would
I've
that
had
be
somebody try to get me into one of those, but right now I'm just kind of focused on the stuff that God has me doing, that He
awesome?
wants me to do. So it's things, ideas that I came up with, and I want to go ahead and get that finished, and then maybe in the future,
Okay.
God willing, we can sit down
So
and do
have
that.
you considered in dealing with what you had to deal with far as your son? You don't have any other kids, correct?
No, I don't.
Have you ever considered having more kids?
I
Or
get that question a lot with people. I say, well, by the time I turn 40, if I don't have another child, I probably don't want to have any.
okay.
But as everybody say, it's God. We don't know what will
Okay.
happen. But at this time, no, I'm not even thinking about that right now. And
Okay.
I'm doing me. I'm living my life. I'm writing my books, building my business with the
Okay.
help of, I have a great support system when it comes to my business, and my business partner, behind the scenes doing some things.
Awesome.
So.
Awesome. I am glad to hear that. Well, we're going to take another little break. We're going to listen to Paul Flanagan give us a clean heart, and we're going to listen to that, and then we're going to come back with the inspirational corner, and then we're going to talk about the second book, and then we'll be closing out our show, because before you know it, it'll be time for us to go. The time goes by so fast on us. But this is your girl A. Michelle here on the Baltimore Flavor Gospel Show on the Worldwide Flavor Network.
So I may serve thee. Asking for the riches of the land, and I'm not asking for high men to know my name, but please give.
Lord, take my life. I am yours, Father. I know I am nothing like what you desire me to be. Oh Lord, take my life. I am yours, Father. I know I am nothing like what you desire me to be. One thing I ask of you, do in me what you want to. I will ever be so mindful to always acknowledge you. Just show me who I am, the person deep within. I want to be more like you. Only you can show me. Oh Lord, please show me. Lord, take my mind. I want the mind of Christ. My thoughts are less than yours. I give them all for exchange of yours. One thing I ask of you, do with me what you want to. I will ever be so mindful to always acknowledge you. Show me who I am, the person deep within. I want to be more like you. Only you can show me. One thing I ask, do with me
what you want to. I will ever be so mindful to always acknowledge you. Show me who I am, the person deep within. I wanna be more like you. Only show me. Search me and know if you find something unlike you, just show me. Oh, and use me. If you lead, I'll go. I'll follow you. Oh, search me, and know me. If you find something unlike you, just show me. Mold me, Lord, and use me. If you lead, I'll go. I'll follow you. Lord, search, know my heart, and know my thoughts. If you find anything that's not like you, then I want you to hold me and use me. Yeah. If you lead, I'll follow you only, Lord. I will follow you if you show me. 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 I will follow if you show me. I will go. I will go. Show me. Yeah. I will show whatever you say, Lord. I will do. If you show me. I will show me. Show me. Reveal, Lord. Show me. Lord, you know the way to go. For you are the open door. Lord, you are the only way. Lead me. I will just pray. I'm so lost without you. I'm desperate, Lord. Let me know your perfect plan. Why don't you take my hand and show me? I need to show me. Show me. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm ready to please you, Lord. I lay all my burdens down. I'm ready to give my life over, over. All of these times, I surrender all to you, God. I surrender all to you, God. Oh, show me. Ah,
Hey everybody, it's your boy Theron Fowler, and you're tuning in to Baltimore Flavor Gospel Show with A. Michelle.
And we are back. It's your girl A Michelle here on the Baltimore Flavor Gospel Show. And we are getting ready to do our inspirational corner. Our inspirational corner will be coming from Psalms 51:10. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. And I'm going to read 11. Cast me not away from thy presence, and take not thy Holy Spirit from me. Some of us, we think we've forgiven someone or we've let something go sometimes. And deep down within ourselves, we really have not. And sometimes we find ourselves in a place when we come in contact with that individual or individuals, because it may not be just one person. And so our heart is not in the right place sometimes with those individuals. I'm sorry what happened with our song, because that was our segue into what I'm going to speak about a little bit on today. Forgiveness and having a clean heart and renewing your mind with whatever it is. Don't get me wrong. I know it hurt. I know whatever they did, maybe what they said, just still doesn't sit right with you. But it's not even about them as much as it is about you and your relationship with God and what God is doing in and around you. And so he wants us to cast those things to him so he can clean our hearts, clean our minds, renew our spirits, so that when we are around those individuals, then that we're not feeling some kind of way, or our attitudes are not right, our disposition is noticeable because of the situation of seeing them, and you had the remembrance of what they did or said. So this week, ask God to work on you. Read Psalm 51:10 and 11 about cleaning up your heart, cleaning up your mind, renewing your spirit within you, that you can treat those who have despitefully misused you, misinterpret who you are, and you can have a better position and disposition with those individuals. I can assure you, you will feel better when you really release it to God. Sometimes we think we've released things to him, and we really have not released it into him. We told him about it. See, there's a difference in telling God about it and releasing it to him and allowing him to do just what the word of God says. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew in me a right spirit within me. That's what the word says. So don't just tell him about the situation. Ask him to clean you from the situation. I'm not saying you'll probably forget about it today or tomorrow, because whatever they did hurt you. But you got to ask him to clean you from it so that you can break that spirit, that when you see them, you can love them like he loves you in your mess. Because we hurt God feelings too. But he continues to have a clean heart and has a right spirit with each one of us and forgives us. And we have to learn to forgive. And that's what the word says. 70 times 7 in a day, we're supposed to forgive our brother or sister. And not just your blood brother and sister, your friends, your family, your co-worker, your boss. All those individuals fall in those places. So when this week, when you're challenged with probably seeing someone that maybe things didn't end quite well, or you're not on the right track, or things just not where you need them to be,
or you don't even see that it might need to be, but God is not pleased with your position or disposition. Go back and read Psalm 51, 10 and 11, and ask God to work on you. You know what's in you already right now. If that person walked up to you right now, how would your attitude be? That person that hurts you real bad, what would your attitude be like right now? Ask God to help clean your heart, renew your spirit. Father God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for life, health, and strength. We ask that each person who has encountered this inspirational corner today, that if their spirit is not right, to help clean them up in whatever position it's in, whether it's in their personal, their work, their entrepreneurship, anything that they are connected to, if their spirit is not right, clean them up with it, Lord. We thank you for keeping your heart on us and keeping us clean in your heart, and that you forgive us daily. New mercies that we see daily. We thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Oh, wow. I ask you to help me if I'm in that place, Lord. And so we are back with our guest, our author, Jamise, and we're going to finish up on this last part of the first book, and now we're going to move right into, the second book. So there was a portion of the first book, God Kept Me, that you wanted to share with our viewers. Please share that.
No, just because you were asking about as far as the book helping other people and encouraging them. So after the story of life after death, it goes into more of focusing on the readers. It talks about you pursuing your dreams, following your passions, stepping out on faith, jumping and soaring, starting that business.
Awesome.
Talks about failure. I've had a lot of businesses, failed at some.
Well, did they fail, or did you just evolve into something new? Did it actually fail? Because people say that their businesses failed, Jamise, but did you really fail at it? Did it just evolve and that you ended up into doing something else?
Well, I won't say it failed. Yeah, let's change that then. So let's change the narrative. It didn't fail. It's just that I didn't push myself as hard with that particular business because there are other things, that I wanted to do. And that's what I did. So a lot of times people say, stay in your lane, don't change. No, change lanes. If you're doing something and it's not working for you, and you have other talents or other passions or other things you want to pursue, switch over in the other lane. That's why when you're on the highway, it's three, four lanes for you to be able to put your blinker on and switch over, move around, and go from side to side. So change those lanes.
Yes,
that's for
absolutely.
anything that you're doing. If you're not happy and it's something that you just don't want to do anymore, move on, switch over, put that blinker on, and change that lane.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you said that, because I met a young lady last week, and Jimmy, she like in a box. And she lives in that box. And I'm like, babe, you got to come out the box. I said, God didn't give us one career.
I don't even
like he don't give us one career. He didn't give us one talent. He gives us things, and things will evolve. Your why in life, your why in your life will change. Now, that's what people fail to realize. The whys do change. It's just making sure that you in alignment with what God is doing.
And that's one thing with the other businesses is stuff that I wanted to do and stuff that I was doing, but it's like, what's the purpose behind it? Is this what God wants me to do? So where I'm at right now, I'm working and serving people with a purpose. This is my passion. This is my purpose. And a lot of people will be like, oh, I'm getting up and I'm chasing the bag and I'm chasing the dollar. No, I'm chasing the purpose. This is my passion. The money's going to come.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my God.
If you got that box mentality, get rid of it. Get rid of the box.
Right.
Because
or at least come out of it.
Yeah,
the box might be still there, but at least come out.
Kick it to the side.
Sit it to the side. Sit it to the side. Come out and look at it over there.
Step out of your comfort zone.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
And that's not, people look at the word comfort zone as a bad thing, because we'll get into that about the second book.
Okay.
And it's not a bad thing, but comfort zone, just come out of that comfort zone of just being stuck,
Mhm.
because you can get
Mhm.
into a comfort zone of what you like. I'm in my comfort zone right now, but that's a comfort zone of following my passions and my dreams and pursuing what God wants me to do.
Awesome,
So
awesome, awesome. I like that. I truly like that. Because people fail to realize you stun your own growth. You
Right.
stopping your own self. Can nobody stop you from where you're going? And we're going to segue that right into I can, and I will.
Right.
That's how I want to segue into that, because I know as a person, you have to pursue, and you first you ask God, if this is your will, you make it happen. And if you do that, I can assure you he will do what he needs to do to make that
Amen.
happen. So how did I am, I can, and I will come about?
That book came about, actually, it was more of so just like I tell people, being at work one day, we were slow on work. I had completed everything I needed to do, and I was actually sitting next to a guy who wanted to start his own clothing business. And I
Wow.
was encouraging him and
Wow.
just, sitting there feeding and pouring into him about what you should do. And we were Googling things, and he was trying to figure out what direction to go into because he was also a baseball coach. So he wanted to take that jump and that leap of faith and soar out and go on to just be a coach full time. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting there just pouring into him and telling him, do this, and he's feeding off of it. And I'm like, you know what? This could be turned into something more positive. Like, this could be, and this wasn't supposed to be the second book. Suffering in Silence was
Oh,
supposed to be the second book, but I know
wow.
that sometimes you just can't rush things. You're trying to rush the process and you
Timing is
can't.
everything.
Exactly.
God's
So
timing is
I
everything.
started on the book, and then it was just like, life happened. Some things got in the way, and
Mm-hmm.
it kind of drifted me away from, writing. You got to get your mindset
Mm-hmm.
right. So with me sitting there talking to him and telling him all the stuff that, he could be doing and what he needs to do to make this next major move for himself, this book came about, like positive affirmations, encouragement, stuff that you can read to yourself every day. And then I had some sister friends that were going through some things. A girlfriend of mine, she lost her mother. Another girlfriend of mine, she had a major fall or accident. And so it was just so much stuff going on. Then I had a car accident that I was in
Wow.
where somebody hit me, and I'm still, dealing with that with my attorneys, just like situations. And I'm at home, not working, going to therapy and things of that nature. And, I had to do something, productive and positive while I was sitting at home and going through my downfall and still trying to, be there for them as well. And like I said, when me and him talked about it, when I was helping him, and then when I actually, sat down, I started at work. We started Googling some things, and I started writing down some different things of putting this book together. And then when that incident happened with me and I had to be at home, I said, you know what? And I talked to God, and he said, this is the time to finish it. So I was like, okay. So I'm going to get on this computer, and I start putting the book together, start putting the positive affirmations together. But I said, I want my book to be a little bit different because it's more of a journal of where you can write your own
Oh,
book in this
okay.
book. So
Wow.
I didn't just want to leave the pages blank. So what I did was I put some poetry. I wrote a poem called I Am, a poem called I Can, and a poem called I Will. So I wanted to add that at the
Wow.
beginning of the book. And then I said, well, I just don't want it to be a regular journal with just, blank pages and a few words here and there. So I made sure I made one whole section of um, I ams. Like when you go to write your stuff at the top of the page, it
Oh, I
has a
love it.
positive
I love it. I
affirmation on
love
each
it.
page. And then it goes into I can. And then you can write whatever you choose to write,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's the I will. But then I also put crossword puzzles in it. I sat
Okay.
and created my own crossword puzzles in Microsoft Word. And it's a book that you can actually use. Like if you're on an airplane, you're sitting in the airport, your flight is delayed. If you're in a doctor's appointment and you're feeling discouraged, you can open up the book, you can start writing, you can start reading and reciting positive affirmations to yourself. You can do the crossword puzzles is positive, all positive
Awesome.
words. So it was something is more so. And I had people ask me, what about coming into the schools and talking to the kids? Well, you always can't take the book about God into the schools.
Okay.
So I needed something for all ages. So
Okay.
with this book right here, you can actually, take it in. And that's my next step that I'm working on. And that all
Okay.
goes hand in hand with the whole 2020 vision pushing the movement to the freedom movement of,
Oh,
branching
okay.
out and being a full-time entrepreneur eventually.
Okay.
Not, saying the date or anything,
Right.
but
I
eventually,
understand. And
that's
and
my
we have to
goal
be
and
in
my
that
focus,
place.
right?
Yeah, you have to be in that place where, you have to understand that, timing is everything.
Exactly.
Um, I feel like I tell people when people want to make some quick decisions, look at the entire situation.
Exactly. You got to sit down and like I
You
said,
know,
write the goals,
are
map
you
it
are
out.
you in a position? Do you have someone that if if the ball drops and everything happens and you lose everything, do you have a place to go?
Exactly.
I don't want to see somebody go homeless.
Right.
And I can truly say, God bless me in my years, of having my salon. Because girl, it came some really tight times.
I can
When
imagine.
when challenges of the years, especially because our major time is July and January. Those are the times of the year that business gets really crazy for us. And January, you try your best to be preparing, but then you preparing for tax season too. So you
Right.
trying to pay for, you got to pay taxes, then you got to still pay bills, and you preparing yourself. And so I try to tell people, just always look at the whole picture. Because it wasn't an option for me to move back home.
Right.
It wasn't an option especially when I did once I got married and had family and all that kind of stuff. There was no option of moving back home. Now, when I was single, it wasn't no option either. My mother was one of them kind of mothers. She'll help you do whatever she need to help you do, but ain't no move back home.
Right.
Those kind of things just wasn't an option. It wasn't those kind of things back then. She was like, I help you do whatever we need to do to make it happen, but moving home is not an option. So therefore, that put the hustle even more on me to always have your own, doing what you need to do, but having the business. I can truly say, God bless me with my salon. I was able to buy 2 homes over the years,
Amen.
cars and everything.
Right.
So I'm grateful. And I've had losses just like you.
But you
I've
kept
had a
pushing.
loss of a home.
But
I've
you
had a
kept
loss
pushing
but
forward,
God just allowed me to keep
You kept
pushing.
your faith in God and you
And
kept
that's all
pushing.
I can tell you,
And
Jamise.
everybody, like we talked about before, some people just they fall and they just don't know how to
They
get
can't
back
get
up.
back up.
They don't have the right people in their ear, the right people in their corner. And
And
you
that's
got
important.
and that's important too, because a lot of times people say I'm sticking with my day ones and my friends. That might be your
That
hold up.
season, the
That's
season, right?
everybody. Although you can love people from a distance. So sometimes you got to get out there and all that no new friends. No, sometimes you need to make some new friends. Those new friends might be the ones that get you to
To the next
the next
level.
level. Exactly. So surround yourself with some positive people that's actually doing what you want to do, and get to where you want to be. But if you keep staying with that same circle and if that's what you like and that's how you live in your best life, then by all means do you.
Do you?
Do
Right.
you.
That's
I'm
just
gonna
where
do
I'm
me,
at.
you do you. So,
Absolutely. Can you tell everybody where they can find your stuff and all that kind of stuff? If they want to book you for an event, if any of that, please give that information for
on
us.
Instagram, it's author Jamise Lyell, and I'll spell it out. It's the word author. My name is Jamise, JameAzeLyell. So you can find me on Instagram under author Jamise Lyell. I'm on Twitter, author Jamise Lyell. Finally got my name changed on Facebook after sending them documentation. But so now you can find me on Facebook under Jamise Lyell. So,
Okay.
if you want to purchase a book, and I sell shirts as well, positive shirts on my website.
Okay.
And trying
I
to
gotta give
add
me one so I can make sure I
trying
wear
to
one.
add to the website, so it's blessed, grateful, thankful. So that's how you can remember it, because it's BGT zone, and the B is for blessed, the G is for grateful, the T is for thankful.
Wow.
So www.bgtzone.com.
Awesome. Wow. I didn't know you had t-shirts as well,
Yes.
because I love to support, I try my best to support our businesses, and I'll wear your product, and I get people always asking,
I
where you
got
wear that?
you.
Where you get
I
that
bought
shirt?
some
Where is
stuff
it?
with me
Yes,
today, so
I'm
I
like,
got
look,
you.
I'm supporting, and I take pictures, I post it, and I put it on my page and all that kind of stuff. And I have a couple people say, girl, you support everybody's stuff. Absolutely. Because we need that. We need that constant support and keeping it, we're all our friends are not the same friends.
Right.
We might have 10 friends that are mutual friends, but then you got 1,500 people. So
Exactly.
that's 1,500 minus 10. Okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we just got to always continue to support one another. I am just so honored and so glad you were able to find
Grateful
time
to
in your
be here.
schedule to come and share with our audience about your story. I hope you guys will literally, and the books are not very thick. So that means you can read these pretty fast. And I like them because sometimes when I read books fast like that, then I read it a second time and it
that's what
really
I
gets
had
into my
people
spirit.
tell me
It will
too.
get right into my spirit. And what I find, Jamise, with some of the books that I've been reading lately is that it's been confirmation of things that I've already done. So it's like, okay, this young lady wrote this. We're not best friends, or he's not my best friend, or we're not somebody we talk on a regular, but
They
our
speak into
spirit,
you.
God
Yeah.
spoke in that spirit of the fact that he or she wrote this book, and it's like, yes, this is what we're doing, this is how, and so it was just great to be able to have those kind of connections with people. And as I said, when I first heard your story on another radio show here on the Worldwide Flavor Network, it was very encouraging to hear you still bouncing back. And I know what it is. Of losing, I lost a baby, not in that capacity, but I've lost a baby before. And that bounce back was really hard for a moment,
because
and
before,
I was not the one that wanted to sit in the corner.
right.
I was the one that had to keep busy.
Right.
Like I had
Well,
to be gone.
and
I had to be doing something all the time. You know what I'm saying?
and
So
I did
hearing you,
that.
okay, you
And
did
I
that
did
too.
that.
Okay.
That's how it started. But then after a while you have to slow down. It comes to that point where you running and you're running and you're running. And then when I slowed down, that's when the anxiety and the depression creeped in.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said,
Well, see, my depression was the busyness. That was
and that
form.
could have been a
That was
part
the
of
form.
my
That was
my
my
and
form.
that could have been a part of my depression too. But at the time, I called myself. Everybody kept saying, stay busy." After his passing, and we the funeral and everything. And like I said, I was blessed, didn't have to work.
Mhm.
So I was out there. I was hitting events and having a good time, just enjoying life. And then and spending money and, not paying attention to what I'm doing, going to the casino, just a whole bunch of stuff.
See, I don't think I
And,
was enjoying life. I was just
know,
busy. When I say I was busy, Jamise, I was just doing, going. If you called and said, Michelle, Angie, back then you would have been calling me Angie. Come on, let's go. I've been just going.
Okay. See.
Didn't have no rhyme or reason. Just wanted to be busy. Always was working, booking every time somebody trying to figure out how I was
You
always
was just trying to keep your
just
mind
keep.
occupied.
That
Yeah,
was it.
Okay.
And finally, God had to sit me down and say,
Exactly.
come on.
Slow down. Yeah.
And you were just trying to get through, and you already dealing with life, because you're dealing with life.
Right.
You're not just dealing with the mental side of losing your child, but you're dealing with life. And then you're thinking about all the things you did. Is those the reasons that caused me to lose this baby? So then you're starting to blame yourself. You put yourself in all these different places, and then you just like, okay, I gotta keep busy. Because like you said, people tell you, oh, keep yourself active so you don't fall in depression. Well, then I found out what I was doing. I was
It
just,
was
it was a
depression.
form
I've
of
been reading
depression.
about that.
I didn't know that until it happened to me.
Right.
That was a form of depression, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I've been reading about that. Somebody posted something about anxiety and depression not too long ago, and I was reading about it. And they say people that just constantly going every day, like working, I'm grinding, I'm doing this, don't even realize they're in a state of depression because they didn't built this lifestyle around where, tons of bills and all types of stuff, and they just gotta keep working and keep working and keep paying the bill. And then with the whole social media thing and everybody trying to keep up with everybody, you out here creating bills for yourself.
See, and
that
I
you
ain't
don't
had that. I
even
think I
need.
probably would have been
But
messed
I'm
up.
saying,
I'm Jamise.
right.
Jamise, I probably honestly, back when this happened to me, Jamise, I wasn't on social media. Can you imagine if
And
I
that's what
was?
I'm
I
saying,
probably would have been an absolute wreck.
And I look at some of the people now, and you see, is they don't realize they might be in a state of depression, or they do, but they're not talking about it. But you can recognize the signs of people. And then with the whole social media and people competing with each other and things of that nature,
It's just so
and,
much out here for everybody.
and you putting yourself, but you digging an even deeper hole for yourself,
Mhm.
and they don't realize it. Like
Yeah.
you trying to keep up with the Joneses, and the Joneses is broke too. So
And that's what people fail to realize. I tell people,
Right.
don't let the look fool you.
Exactly.
I've always told people that don't let the look fool Hallelujah.
Mhm.
It is none but the grace of God that you see what
See,
you see.
exactly.
I don't look like
Because
nothing
I've
I've been through,
been
but if you even sat and had time, and I can
to
give you
talk
fast
to a
track, the
person,
fast track will
right?
wear you down. But if I gave you the long version, you probably be laid out somewhere, like, and you
Exactly.
still sitting here, hey Michelle, that's what you would say, you know. And I even say it myself, but I thank God every day that He saw me through those things and
Exactly.
still give me strength to
And
continue to be an encouragement and not bleed on people, because people can go through things and bleed on people in a negative way. But I thank God that He allows me to bleed in a positive way.
exactly. And that's, and even with the book, like even though the book starts off with, you know, talking about my son, there's a lot of stuff that I went through prior to his death, you know, that I haven't even talked about yet. And you know, it's like,
Absolutely.
how do you, I'm working on trying to figure out what part or what book I want to put that in, or do I even
Wow.
want to talk about it to the world? So it's a
Mm.
lot, you know, dealing with relationships and my son father and things that I just didn't even
Wow.
include in this book, because I was like, it's not even about him right now. This is about helping other people, you know, with things that I went through. But it's so much more that I could write about, you
Okay.
know, encourage people with that, because I know some of the stuff that I've
You
been through,
never
other
know who
people have
lives it
been
can
through.
change if it's nothing
Exactly.
but one.
Exactly.
And
And
that
that's what I
one,
said about this book.
people don't realize when you have that one person's life that's changed, you know how many millions of other people's lives are changed because
Because of that
that
one
person has
person.
changed.
Exactly.
May not be, they may not even ever say that your book was the reason that changed them, but we know that the book changed them, and then it just down trickles effect. So you just never know. Your story can be the catalyst to saving someone's life.
Yep.
So just, you know, pray about it, let God lead you the way that He has to lead you.
Right.
Give your information one more time for us on how people could book you, or if you want to they want to get your books and t-shirts and all.
Check me out on Instagram under author Jameez Lyell. That's JameeAzelyell. You can find me on Facebook under Jameez Lyell as well. If you want to purchase books, t-shirts, I have different items on the website. That's Blessed, Grateful, Thankful. So it's www.bgtzone.com.
Thank you for joining us on today.
Thank
We
you for
want to
having
thank
me.
you so much. I want to thank you for joining us here on Facebook, all of you who's tuned in on today, and those who will tune in on later. We thank you for joining us. Please get her book. These books could be the catalyst to changing something in your life, but if not your life, be a blessing and share it to someone who you know may have trickled and had that same similar story. It may not be the same story, but it could be very close, and that could be the catalyst to helping that person make a difference in their own life and changing their life, and not staying in a place that God is not does not want them to be in. So I hope that this show today has been a blessing for you, and if it's if you're able to share it with someone, that it may be a blessing to someone else as well. Join us today on Florence Avenue for the back to school event, as well as we do have Diva Talk coming up at 2 o'clock today. Tune in at 2 o'clock on the Diva Talk show as well, and the shows that we have over time, and the Life Changer on Wednesday, and we have Anika Tells All. Tune into all our shows this week. We have some new shows coming up soon in September, so we're looking forward to them as well. I thank you for joining us once again on today. I really, truly appreciate it. I love you, but know that God loves you better than I ever could. Have a blessed and wonderful week.